It's the worst one it looks, isn't it?
Yeah. I think this calls for some Bob Evans. When in Rome, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're starting off with a slight incline angle here for chest. I'm probably going to focus a little bit more on upper chest, so some of my presses may not be like this. They may be more this way as opposed to this way. We'll see, but we're just going to work up, do something heavy for 6 or 8, maybe throw in something a little crazy at the end. We'll see. You never know. In person, probably a year or 2 ago. Yeah. Something like that. I saw some videos Jordan was doing, and I thought they were, the concepts that he was talking about, I hadn't seen before. So I thought, oh man, that's pretty neat. So I started doing some investigating, see if he had anything I could steal. And I found a few things I could steal. So I got a hold of him and said, thank you very much. And the next thing I know, he was at my house, hanging out, playing video games with us. All right, let's see.
Make sure I'm not in that.
This is the hard part, getting up. So I do a little bit more reps probably than most people do, just because I'm just trying to warm up more. And it's really cold outside, 20-some degrees.
We just turned the heat on too.
Yeah, so I'm a little cold right now. So a few more reps, just be careful. I normally just do the first couple sets for high reps, and then I try not to fatigue myself. So then the sets become 3-4 reps, just to work your way up safely to the heavy set, and then you kind of go all out. But it's a little cold today.
There's no point in saving for that top set. If that top set's gonna injure you and you don't have another top set next week and the week after that.
That's right.
What you're gonna, if you accumulate some fatigue in warming up, but you're gonna be confident in the weights you're working at and not injure yourself, then long term it's a better approach. So I'm usually as slow to climb as well. Like even this is a little bit quicker than I would otherwise jump in weights, but you know, kind of like when in Rome, right?
All right. Those are 70s, right?
Yeah. You're 90?
Yeah. All right, let's see how these 90s feel today with Grandpa Meadows.
Good.
So, okay, here they go. That's pretty light. I'm all rested up. I haven't trained for 4 days.
Yeah, when's the last time that happened?
A couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're competing, you know, you kind of take scheduled time off, but I haven't competed in a couple years. So I hadn't really had any scheduled time off.
What was your last competition?
California Pro in May. I think it was May of 2017. How's that feel?
Yeah, good.
Pretty good.
Let's go. those traps in the bench. There it is.
Okay, here they come. How'd that look?
Yeah. The one thing I like that you said, and I think a lot of people miss, is like, you notice when he talked about he's going to do an incline, but he wants to train more upper pecs, so he's actually going to tuck his elbows in. For most people, they keep the elbow angle, like the abduction angle, the same.
Right here.
Yeah, and it goes right across the anterior delt.
Set it right here.
Right? So it's like he knows where his pec, like insert that lateral lip of the bicipital groove. He knows where that is for him, and he knows how to just, you know, just put tension across that. Where out here, it's just like it's all his anterior delt. I think people get lost, like incline upper pec. It's like, well, maybe decline upper pec. Depends on kind of your shape and size.
Right. That's right.
I think a lot of people miss that, and they just hardwire into like, oh, he's doing incline, it's for his upper pec. It's like, well, yeah, there's variance. You do flat for your upper pec, depending on where everything's.
It's all about the elbows, baby. The back, chest. All right, here we go. Come on now. Let's see it. Here we go. Come on. Come on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Come on.
All right. Whoa.
Normally that's where I would stop failure on one heavy set to failure.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't do any more reps.
Yeah, no.
Was that failure for you?
Yeah, I tore my right pec a few years ago, never got surgically reattached. So it's just kind of like, it's hard to delineate what's muscle that I'm feeling good, what's muscle that I'm feeling bad.
Yeah.
So failure, I think for me is a lot of mental.
Okay.
So usually you can push the actual like physiological failure further at lighter weights because you don't have that mental like,
yep,
fuck, this is a bit heavy.
Yep, I got you. How do you feel about these?
Yeah, not bad. I might throw a band in or something. Actually, I'll probably be able to do this body weight. See how the pec holds up.
If I've got my feet out in front of me, it just does something to stabilize everything.
Yeah.
If I just jump up on there and go, it's kind of hard on my connective tissue.
Yeah.
But when I throw my feet out, man, I just lock in. My pecs lock in.
Yeah.
Can you do them that way with your feet out? Try it. Yeah, now just drop in. And don't even come up all the way, just come up like 3/4 of the way. Right there, you can just lock that in.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. It's almost like you're
It's
obliques, like tuck your rib cage down or something.
Yeah. So first of all, our goal is more this area of your pec, right? So you notice we're not coming down straight like this. It's more of elbows out like that as opposed to this. See the difference?
Yeah.
So this is a lot of delt and tricep, and we're getting our elbows out so we can sink in and drive with this right here. And your feet out in front, it just makes that easier to do. When your feet are out back here, you see how you start to tilt and lean? So it's just a way to really...
Can you tilt and lean, you're saying?
It's nothing wrong with it. It's just more anterior delt and tricep, that's all.
It's the first time I've done dips since I tore my pec. Tore prepping for the Arnold's in Australia, 18 months ago. And it's just like, right now it's like getting over being able to do stuff like this. It's not really like a physical victory. Like I know the strength is there. It's like, yeah, I mean, I was 6 months waking up in the middle of the night, dreaming of a bar across my throat.
Bombs away. Whew. Nice. Nice. Like that angle, the elbows?
Yeah, it just makes sense. Like, I think when other people do dips, like you said, like you're moving this and you're moving this.
Yeah.
It's like you tuck the rib cage underneath. It's like sternum stays fixed.
Yeah, lock
now
that
you
baby
just
in.
create a lot of tension between.
That's right.
I think people.
That's right. That's what, and that's essentially what we're doing.
Yeah, like all people, like you just trying to bring this thing to a different point across here.
Yep.
Usually, like the simplest answer is like the right answer.
Ideally, you want to put the chains lower on your neck so they don't push your head forward, but you get so many chains, it's kind of hard not to. So I'm trying to get them, see where I'm putting them way back on my neck. But eventually you pile so many up, they push you forward a little. It's all right though. It's all right, baby. Ah! Here we go. Yeah! Those are hard reps. Those are hard reps there, buddy. Right there. Right there. There we go. There we go. Come on. Come on. Little cluster set there. I see you. Failure, little break. Try
and keep up.
I like that.
Intercept variability. Keeps it fun.
I like that. I'm all about the clusters. You want to try to rig up a fly now?
You need cable?
That's up to you. I very rarely do cables for chest. Well, I actually like to do them just this way. You know, a lot of people do this.
No,
I actually like to come just right here and really.
It's the same. It's kind of the same range.
I
like the fully shorten. Like for me, fully shorten. That's like the only real play.
So you want to come right there?
Just get here. Then I like to grab onto the actual cable itself so I can get some resistance and rotation at the end. But I'm up to rig up whatever. When you say rig up, my answer is yes. When John says rig up, it's like, yeah, I'm in.
Oh yeah, that's burning. Ooh, man, that's burning. Don't turn it into a press, first of all. Don't bend your arm and straighten your arm. Get your arms bent a little, lock them, and use your pec to move the weight. So see how his arms is locked? He's just keeping it in that one position. He's pulling across. I'm not quite so bent armed, but the main thing is just that you're using your pec to pull your arms across instead of pushing with your tricep. He's got his sternum lifted too. Make sure you don't cave in your chest and put all the tension in your AC joint. He's up raw, he's high right there. That's perfect. And this is something that you don't have to hesitate going to failure on. It's very safe. It's not gonna kill you. So go to failure on these sets. Good. Again, this exercise is meant to be done ultra strict. All right, flex your chest, flex your chest, flex your chest. There we go. I got you. I like to do fly type motions, anything where I'm really lengthening stuff after I get a pump personally. I just like the feeling of having a lot of blood in there and then stretching everything out. I think longevity wise it's probably a good idea. Just my thought on when I do this stretching kind of stuff. Also, probably a lot of people would probably say you're going back too far, but I'm actually really flexible on my shoulders, and that stretch actually feels really good.
Yeah.
So,
I think people miss, like, when you're trying to isolate a muscle, you're trying to disadvantage the way your body actually wants to move. So like when what looks too far is all the loads like through his shoulder blades and his rhomboids in that stretch position, and he's trying to keep that initiation within the pec. So he's actually trying to like use his rhomboids to push against the bench and squeeze his shoulder blades together. Just at least how this is how I look at it, is like I want to initiate with my pec, so I want to move my arm on a fixed shoulder blade. So I squeeze my shoulder blades together as hard as I can when I initiate that movement, because I want to make sure the only thing that moves is I'm taking this from here to here. And it's funny because I do the exact opposite. I usually start in a lengthened position.
Yeah.
Because like that's when you're weak, or like that's where like one of the points where you're weakest. So if I fatigue the rest of like the curve, I get to here. But usually when I start, I'll do them without a bench. So the bench later in the workout helps because it gives us more stability, gives us more output. Like if we were to try and do these standing with no support on our back, it'd be a different, like we wouldn't be hitting the reps at the weight that we're hitting, but this allows us like late in the workout to just focus just on the muscle and not on like stabilizing anything else.
A lot of blood in there?
Yeah. I think that's like the difference between a powerlifter and a bodybuilder.
Yeah, pump doesn't really do you much good.
Yeah.
I like it.
I just think for me, start with a press as a powerlifter, you're gonna start with a bar, right? You're either challenging movements or challenging muscles, or bodybuilders are really good at challenging muscles. Powerlifters want to challenge and progress at overcoming movements.
Yeah.
Because like the bench press is a terrible pec exercise for most people. Like
I like the low incline, low inclines myself. I feel like that's a good position.
Yeah, most people, flat barbell bench press is a terrible way to develop your pecs. It's a good way to build a big bench press. Yeah. Oh yeah, I challenged my pec once. I was under 441 pounds and I fucking tore it.
I do barbell stuff for my chest, but I never do it first.
Yeah.
My history was, I'm gonna say 20 or 30 bad pec strains.
Yeah.
And then one day I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't the right sequence for me.
Yeah.
And when I moved them, then maybe since then I've had maybe 2 strains in 15 years.
Yeah.
But the first 15 years, it was like every month I felt like I was pulling something. Because that's what we were always taught. You go in, load up the bar and bench heavy. I mean, that's cool, but when you start pulling stuff, it's like, man, maybe I need to rethink this sequence a little bit, you know? And then my chest actually started getting bigger.
Funny that.
All right, so that was chest. It's not like a full all-out psycho chest workout because we're doing back too. So essentially we did 1 failure set on the incline dumbbell, pretty close to failure on 3 dips. The last set was a little beyond failure. We did a drop set. Jordan did a little cluster. And then this one we went to failure on all these. But this isn't something that's going to beat your body up. So going to failure on a movement like this as opposed to a failure on 3 sets of bench presses, totally different load on your connective tissue. So I would call that 5-6 sets, pretty good sets. And now we'll move on to do some back.
Yeah.
How about a trap bar row? That's
Okay.
lat.
Yeah, I can do that.
That's a lot of lat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that feels nice.
Good.
Perfect. Perfect. That feels real good, man. That's perfect after doing chest. All the way down to lower lats even. Feel that tension going right down your lat?
Yeah, it's good. It's a
That's
good
nice,
width.
isn't it? I personally feel these a million times better in my back than when I'm doing a pronated regular barbell row. Just me personally.
It's like the grip.
But I feel this a million times more in my back than this.
Yeah.
Even if I'm pulling in my lower abs, I still feel this better. One more, baby. One more time. 3 good hard sets here. I like the tension that you feel when you lower this under control too. When you don't just drop it, when you actually lower it with your back, there's a nice tension that you get when you do that. I think some people, when they're doing the rows, they squeeze and then just drop the weight. Like, just drop it, right? You're missing half the rep. That's a half rep. There we go. There we go. Feel that tension. All right, let's see what our options are over here. And then people oftentimes will sit straight up like this.
Yeah.
So what do you think is doing the movement? It's a lot of bicep. I like to tilt back a little, so now you can drive your elbow, which is, to me, going to create more tension in your lats. So, and I even like these grips right here. I even like hooking these up so I have some free motion as I pull down. I can supinate, and maybe we'll do a variety on this today. I'll show you. We'll do 2 here, 2 there, and then I got another variation I want to show you. So we'll do 6 sets on this today, but I'll hit you a little bit different. But I do like this mag grip a lot. I like this one, and there's a little short one over here I like. That's burning. Ooh, that's burning. There we go. See how he's tilted back and all this is locked in? All the driving is his elbows on his lats. He's just driving his elbows down and back and hitting his lats. That's textbook right there. Feel that burning?
Yeah. I think a lot of guys want to like stretch and rest, and they go into that full overhead. It takes tension off the lats. So can you internally rotate? You have that intention of internal rotation of the shoulder. Your lat's not the extender of the shoulder. You gotta stay semi-supinated. The reason that grip is the way it is, when I start to supinate my hand, I externally rotate my shoulder. That puts the advantage at the lat to extend. And the only reason we really bend the elbow is because the lat gets short, it gets weak. So we start bending the elbow so the distance is less to the lat, so we can overcome where the muscle gets weak and still keep tension as we try and get as short as possible. You know, like that bottom range of the rep, that's where the rep lives, right? In this exercise, it's all driving that elbow down towards the floor. Spend time there, right? Like don't have your tempo be all up here. It's not the point of the exercise. You know, for this one anyways, like for me, and this is like, you can have that, sure, but have your tempo overlay on the intent of the exercise. I mean, I'm trying to really drive those elbows straight down to the floor.
Like that's the big key to me. It's just put your body in the right position and drive with your elbow and flex your lats the whole time. I like to do these one arm at a time too. Normally when you have the dual handle, so the angle's perfect.
Yeah.
And then when we come down, we sit there and flex for a second. Really nail it at the bottom.
Like those prime handles, those single hand, semi-supinated.
Yeah.
I think they got them here. I could trade my life for one thing. It's right there. That's living the dream.
What is it?
Dog's just sitting there watching the world go by.
Oh.
Yeah, that was just good timing. You got real stage presence. Can't.
Yep. But I'm actually turning. Yep. Yep.
So the grip is the biggest change in this one?
Yeah, we were locked in our grip before. Now we have looked, now he can move his wrist. So he can supinate as much as he feels comfortable supinating. So he can supinate the right amount for his body, right? Instead of
maybe why would somebody include that in there?
Some people are tighter in the wrists, some people are tighter in their shoulders. Some people more flexible. And what we essentially just did was move the grips out here. So your pull is just straight down.
You want that or you want this?
Either way feels great to me. But like some people, they can't physically supinate all the way. So to put a bar up there and make them start like that, it's really hard on their biceps tendon, their wrist. So this is good to just let your natural flexibility get you in the right position, you know? I do so many exercises using these, all kinds of tricep stuff, back stuff, so I can let my wrist move. That's one of the things in the last, I'd say 5-6 years, I've really changed about my training. It's just letting my wrists move the way they want to move instead of forcing them into a position. Oh man, God. Kind of hard to put into words how much that burns. That really is fire.
It's like, tell me what peanut butter tastes like. It's
yeah.
like, yeah, you gotta just kind of taste it for yourself.
Lock. Fire, right?
Oh,
Sometimes it's just those little things, you know? That's 4 there. So we got 2 different variations there, both of which felt really good. I remember when Dave and I used to hook this up, this bar.
in the overhead.
And we would do 2 sets with each grip. So it was 8 sets. That was the first thing we did, 8 hard sets to start our back workout.
I was at the old compound, right?
Yeah. Oh, does Dave still have that bicycle row? You know the bicycle row we used to do T-bars with?
Yeah.
Does he still have that
Or
somewhere?
like a chest supported row?
There it is. There
I was
it
just
is.
saying you guys needed a curator. I was like, wait, we got Dave.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
know where everything is.
it's
There
like
it
a
is.
museum.
This is nice. So we're going to take this bar and we just put it right in here.
And then you row.
Just rig it right in here. And do we have enough room? Yeah, we got enough.
Yeah, we should be good.
Do we put this inside the weight?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Or it'd be too far in front of me and kill your lower back, right?
It's gonna keep moving away. You know.
Good?
Yeah, good.
How's that for
Yeah, it's gonna
destroying
fuck up
your whole
upper
back?
Yeah.
The grip itself is going to give you more lower trap and rhomboid, but you can flex your lats too. I mean, you feel this all over. Sometimes I think people try to specialize too much with back muscles. Like, I'm just going to isolate my rhomboid.
No, you're not.
Well, good luck with that. All those muscles are supposed to work together. It's kind of like when you do like we were talking about your dumbbells for your upper chest. Well, you're not just working your upper chest. I think, particularly in bodybuilding, we're starting to get a little carried away with isolating some of these big muscles, right?
Bodybuilders getting hyper focused on like trying to train muscles in isolation. It's like best you can do as a bodybuilder is try and disadvantage a bunch of muscles. You're never gonna isolate anything. All you can do is disadvantage everything else that'll assist in the joint action that you're trying to perform. But with powerlifters, because they're always trying to find that optimal range where everything works together to work the greatest amount of load, I think is like an inverse to like training styles. Like a contrast is, I think most powerlifters who start to think about trying to train muscles in isolation because they're constantly training strength and integration. And then when they have injuries, it's like, look, like your knees hurt. When's the last time you did like a knee day? Like don't even think about a quad extension. Like a quad extension, like think about training the joint of the knee. Or like you have shit ankles in a squat. When was the last time you did any sort of calf raise? Don't look at it like a calf raise. Look at it like training the fucking ankle. Your elbows hurt, your shoulders hurt. When was the last time you had like a shoulder day? Not a delt day, like a shoulder day. Not a bicep or tricep day, but an elbow day, right? Like, I think a lot of powerlifters would benefit from a longevity standpoint in trying to train weak ranges because they're constantly hammering their joints in integration, trying to be as strong as possible. Love these.
I love these, man.
Like,
These put a lot of muscle on my upper back.
watch the angle when he sets up, like where he puts his feet.
And watch where the
angle,
bars are on too.
It's the same thing. Like look at the angle of his shin. Look at the angle of like his arm. He's getting the greatest amount of counter force by driving the feet into the floor. And it's that vector that goes right through his middle back. You see him just shrug. All that starts from like the setup. have your feet too far back, you have counterforce coming up that's straight up, and you have a bar that's kind of like that. So like, now make that continuous, right?
Good way to hurt your lower back.
Yeah, exactly. You don't even feel your lower back. Your lower back, and you set your feet up right, is like perfectly counterbalanced.
It's locked in.
Yeah.
Right there. Right there.
I think this calls for some Bob Evans. When in Rome, right?
Okay, here we go.
Onward.
Yeah.
Silent. Elbows back towards chest.
Okay.
Don't squeeze. That's it. Drive those elbows high. Don't. There it is.
One more.
Yep. All right, bang them up. That's it. Nothing there. Let's go.
What? Come on. Good, good. Good.
Yep.
Good. Come on. Come on. Good. Good.
Yep.
Strict. 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 Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. It's the worst one it looks, isn't it? Yeah. All right, so we just finished with that drop set there. So just to recap, we did 3 exercises for chest and 3 for back. So 6 exercises. If we'd have just done chest and back by itself, probably would have done another exercise or 2, but since we were going for chest and back together, that was good. Just to recap, we did incline dumbbell presses up to 1 failure set. Then we did our dips. Basically 3 failure sets, close to it. The last one beyond failure. And then we did our cable fly, where we went to failure nose. We moved over to back. We did our trap bar rows, where we did pretty much 1 set to failure. The other 2 were kind of close to it. And then we did a couple variations on the pull downs to failure. We did 2 sets of each version. And then we finished with these here. I don't know what that bar is called. Dave and I always called it the bicycle bar. But really, really like that. It's a kind of like a homemade T-bar row, really. But it just feels really good the way it's set up here. And we finished obviously here with a really hard drop set. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, just when it's simple and you have like a framework, focuses on execution, right? Like too many people just like, oh, like I'll get it next set, I'll get it next set. Where it's like, look, we're only doing 3 sets here, you know, so everything's got to be, there's like an urgency, right? Like every set's got to work. That means every rep's got to be perfect. So like, you know, we have like little meticulous conversations, like, you know, this is not a setup you're going to see every day, but when you get it right, it's just kind of maximizes the output of the exercise. But then on the surface, if you said, hey, I did chest and back and I did 3 exercises each, you're like, what the hell's that? It's like by the end time you're done, you're smoked.
I mean, I think where people get lost is probably that urgency. And I think a lot of times people don't really know how hard they can push, you know? I think sometimes, particularly when people train by themselves, I know I used to struggle training by myself, and having a good training partner was always really, really beneficial, because a good training partner can always take you past what you think you can do, so you kind of know what you're capable of. I think a lot of people just don't. They think they're going to failure, they're close to it, but they're really not.
No, it's this that breaks.
You know, we saw, particularly with Jordan, you saw him do a lot of movements today where he went full range of motion failure and then did a lot of partials. So what I call failure is when you just can't do it at a full rep with good form. Like, that's failure to me. And then you can decide if you want to continue past failure by doing things like we were doing today, maybe partials or drop the weight, but continue to keep the failure and execution first instead of just getting sloppy to get more reps. So.
Yeah. And when you do like workouts like that, you get better at the exercises. I think people like forget that there's kind of like, you know, when you're squatting, when you're deadlifting, there's like a skill component to it. There's absolutely like a skill component to doing a row like this, or a press at that angle. Like if you don't press that angle a lot, you're not really gonna learn how to do it in 1 set or 3 sets. So it's like saying interset variables that allow you to stay in the exercise for longer actually allow you to get better at the exercise over time. And then as the skill kind of builds up, you get better at execution, then you actually get more and more out of the exercise the more you do it, right? People like, you know, I did 10 exercises for chest. It's like, did you do 10 exercises really shitty? Or did you do like 3 exercises with really good execution and be able to practice and get better at those exercises?
And really what should happen, which I think people are starting to figure this out, as you get better at training and you get more experience, it really should take less sets because each one should be more valuable. You should be able to get more out of each one. I think that's one of the lessons I've learned in the last 10 years is as you get better and better at feeling this stuff, it shouldn't take as many sets, you know? So anyways, I hope you guys found this educational. So it's always good to see my man Jordan. Comment below, let us know what you think. If you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.